Yeah, of course.
Here we go. Good morning, and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show. I'm D. Lake for Prez. I'm filling in as host for Kyle Phillips. MediaSpeaks.com's Kyle Phillips' very own is moving into his new house. And how amazing is that?
That is really good. If anybody has followed his little cartoon,
yeah, well, his girlfriend. But the reason his wife came out is because he posted this meme the other day. It's like a sign at a Home Depot that's like all husbands must have a note from their wife before picking out any paint colors.
And who could forget the cartoon of the father in the bathroom?
Right. Okay. Anthony's not here either. Anthony Court of the Court Report. He's out busy doing his thing on the bus. And D. Like for Press, I'm joined today by Sam I.B. DeGangi. Sam of the Correct Views. From the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Greetings, everyone. It is freaking awesome to be back.
Great to have you back, Sam. You were out for a couple weeks because of a change in schedule at your job, at your employment, and but you're back today, Sam.
Yes, I told them I'd fill in if it give me back to my normal schedule, and they did as quickly as they could, so I was happy.
Well,
very happy to be back. There's not much to do on a Monday night when I was off.
We're so happy to have you back, Sam. In fact, the Correct Views on this channel, the MediaSpeaks.com on YouTube, is really blowing up, and the Correct Views is a great, brand name. Like, people are recognizing that as a brand on TMS, on the Media Speaks, just like Welcome to the War or the Court Report. But I mean, your Correct Views is really blowing up, Sam. Your science front's doing well. Your massive Fukushima updates are doing great. Your Dunce Cap of the Month Award, every time you bring up a Dundee. But today's show is titled Science, Politics, Headlines, and More. Sam, can we start with some science news? What do you have?
We definitely can. The one that I had found that I was going to start with, and I want to give a shout out to Miss Milky the Clown. You've been talking about traffic. For those that don't know, I post on my channel, and then I post on the high definition video that takes a second to upload, goes on the Media Speaks, usually a few hours later. Discovery of alien DNA hailed by scientists raises ethical concerns. It's from RT. I have found that due to GMOs and some of the more dangerous practices that we cover in not just articles, I guess, but just in regular conversation, the way the channel goes, the way the whole movement's going, is a general phobia or fear, I think, of a healthy fear of what medicine is doing. Having said that, I think people now are going so far as to be Amish, and every time I hear that something good happens, it's somehow a problem. The singularity is obviously a terrible idea. But a lot of the things that they are doing in that movement are excellent ideas. And you never hear anybody talk about this. And this is another one. It says American scientists have, for the first time ever, made it possible for an organism to survive with artificial DNA, making it more likely that new medicines can be developed, while raising ethical concerns among advocates. For researchers at the Scripps Research Institute in La Jolla, California. Is that La Jolla? Is that La Jolla D Lake or La Jolla?
La Jolla.
I knew it. Published Wednesday in the Nature Science Journal. It's been in 15 years in the making. It says the announcement is so remarkable because for billions of years, all life has been made up of DNA subunits categorized by the four letters A, T, C, and G. Scientists have now added two new DNA building blocks to E. coli bugs, which then reproduced as normal with the extra letters in their genetic code. It continues that the research could eventually lead to the production of completely new proteins that could be used either for medical purposes or industrial products. It also lends credibility to the theory that life in outer space could exist within DNA entirely alien to that of Earth. And again, we've covered that on here a lot, that we look for signs of life throughout the universe based on what we know exists. Because while there could be a billion forms of life that we can't detect even here, doesn't do us any good to look for it. I'm going to do a little more on this because I understand why they're worried.
Yeah, why is this significant, Sam?
It says we now have a living cell that literally stores increased genetic information, says Floyd Romsberg, Scripps chemical biologist who led the whole study. This shows that other solutions to storing information are possible and, of course, takes us closer to the expanded DNA biology that will have many exciting applications for such as new medicines and newer kinds of technology. He said that's because the new building blocks dubbed X and Y are not to be confused with chromosomes, that's going to be an awful name, are infused with simple bacteria. They could not constitute a danger if they somehow left the laboratory and were spread among the public. He added that the company, Syntherox, is exploring what possibilities could be in the future for X and Y, especially when they are combined with thousands of amino acids to develop new vaccines. Now again, if this D-Lake is getting rid of some of what you and I cover is bad that is in there, and if they're using this in vaccines instead, then I would argue then they are doing what people like you and I have complained about. They are trying to fix it. It said this is just a beautiful piece of work. Martin Fussenegger, a synthetic biologist at Athens, Zurich, told The Guardian. DNA replication is really the cream of the crop of evolution, which operates the same way on all living systems. Seeing that this machinery works with synthetic base repairs is just fascinating. But the optimism is not shared by all. This research could eventually inspire critics to call for increased restrictions on synthetic biology, a field primarily devoted to the design and construction of biological devices for useful purposes.
Right.
The arrival of this is unprecedented. Alien life form could, in time, have far-reaching ethical, legal, and regulatory implications. Jim Thomas of the ETC Group, a Canadian advocacy organization, told the New York Times. While synthetic biologists invent new ways to monkey with the fundamentals of life, governments haven't been able to cobble together the basics and oversight. Opposition has increased as synthetic biology has made progress. The ETC Group, an international organization devoted to the conservation and sustainable advancement, always worry about those words, sustainable my ass, of the cultural and ecological diversity of human rights. Basically, every time they come out with something new, they have to say, is it moral? If it's not going to...
Is it good for the children?
Yeah, I mean, I could see obviously where this could be used negatively. But D-Lake, if we start immediately going after it that way, then aren't we like the crazy gun Nazis? Where guns can be used for evil, so we need to ban them. If we stop every scientific development we have, we're all going to be Amish.
Okay.
I think we're going too far the other way.
Okay, Sam, I think this ties in a lot to the ethics and principalities of science that you are talking about right now. I don't know if you saw the news this week. Let me go to my screen share and show you this, Sam. Young blood transfusions may be source of eternal youth. Two separate teams of scientists have announced that blood transfusions from young individuals make older individuals younger, fixing their hearts and curing aging brains. Speaking to the New York Times, Harvard Medical School's professor of neurology, Rudolph Tanzi, says these findings could be a game changer. Tanzi, who is not associated to the studies, also said that he's extremely excited by the results of vampirism, of the two papers, talking about basically taking blood from young people and giving it to the old people. And Sam, in your opinion, who are the people that can afford this? Someone like Hillary Clinton? Maybe it could cure her Dane Bramage?
Again,
does Hillary Clinton have brain damage, Sam? What do you think?
If you're going to go the Lady Bathory road, this is a horrible idea. But if they find a way to use the good science on this, and it's used with donations, I mean, it depends. Are we talking about doing something just to make yourself look a little bit younger? Then no, that's probably not the most
If it's curing
ethical
hearts
thing
and
to do.
brains, though, according
But
to the
again, yeah, if it's going to do something like that, then you've got to wonder. I mean, and yet, then you, of course, as far as the religious questions, you never really know the mind of God. For instance, it says in the Bible that women shouldn't teach. You know why? Because back when that was written, women shouldn't teach. Why shouldn't they teach, D-Lake? Because they weren't allowed to read. If your teacher doesn't know how to read, she probably shouldn't be your teacher. I don't think that
Sam.
applies. I don't think that applies. Let me finish. I don't think that applies these days. So you have this science here, and you have this warning against transferring blood. Well, back they were talking to farmers. D-Lake, do you want a donation from a farmer? Because I really don't. Now we can do things like that, and then extends life. Now, is there other concerns? Maybe, we were never meant to change that. Maybe it is still a sin.
Do you think that
You
the
never
studies,
know.
Samuel? Do you think that the studies are being demonized as vampirism? And I mean, even look at this picture. She's like, "I'm gonna suck the blood out of your neck," and it's not going to be. It's not going to be like that, though, Sam. It's being demonized. Is that right?
Well, hopefully it won't be like that. I do think we need to address the concerns that this article and the one I brought in brings in. And I think, again, it was with stem cell searching. We found other ways to do it. But I think to immediately see these kinds of stories and think of them as being used as New World Order control devices, then why aren't we trying to watch how they're implemented more than they're trying to stop them? It seems like every time I find something good in medicine, someone starts whining about how bad it could be used for something evil. And to me, it sounds like the reverse argument that you hear about gun control. It's how something is used. These people don't want us to do anything with science anymore. Just catch diseases, die, and don't try to cure them. We're going the other direction, right?
Well, Sam.
And then there's the other crowd that says get every vaccine that comes down the road.
Yeah, and that could be dangerous to your health. And Sam, I'm glad that you're getting into the ethics of science. And let me just read just a little bit more from this younger blood transfusion scientific studies that they're doing. The first study published in Nature Medicine and led by University of California's Sal Vida says that transfusion of blood through parabiosis works, and that extracting the plasma from the younger mice and injecting it into the older individual's brain, another mouse, works even better. The process creates new neuronal connections, reversing the effects of age and greatly improving the mice's cognitive functions. And it goes on to describe, exactly how that works. This discovery could be key to beat Alzheimer's disease and other degenerative brain conditions caused by aging. Sam, before I get your thoughts, let me just say that one of my primary concerns is that I am the rarest of blood types, AB negative. My blood will be in high demand by those older people that also are rare like me. Sam.
Yeah, I think that's very much a possibility that they could use it for only the rich could get it. But there are a number of ways around that. We already know that thankfully there are charities that exist in the world, and we need to make sure that those charities are tied into new technologies so that when things like this come out, it can be done. On my last posting, I covered how this lady received over 10 million doses of the measles vaccine. Don't even ask me how your body can hold that much of a liquid. They must have concentrated it. But it cured her cancer. Well, it said she was late-stage cancer. It's 3 or 4. Are you talking about experimenting on people without their knowledge like we did during the LSD experiments? No, I'd have to say that that's scientifically evil. Are you giving it to somebody because they are going to die anyway? Then go ahead and do it. I mean, why is it being used and how is it being used? is getting in the way now of science ever being used. Is that a good way to put it? What we're going to do with it is getting now so looked at that I think we're getting away from what it is that we're actually trying to do. And not all doctors are out here trying to make life worse. I think that's mostly the big pharma, the vaccine companies, the people that tell you that it's better to put mercury in your body than suffer with the flu for a few days. Those people, I think, are giving all the doctors a really bad name. People that were looking into cryogenics so that maybe man can go outside the solar system someday. Maybe that involves learning how to take a person's heartbeat and turn it down to almost nothing and bring them back to life again. If I'm going to do that to you, D-Light, just to see
that'd
what
be
happens,
cool.
I'm an evil bastard. If I'm doing that with the purpose that there are a very small number of human beings that we might be sending into outer space in 300 years that need to have their heart rate stopped, now we're not talking about something evil anymore. Now we're talking about something good. And people forget that.
Well, Sam, what about sending a soft drink to the moon?
Well, what's in most of our soft drinks, it'll probably evolve into its own life form in a few years.
Well, this is a Japanese beverage company. They're unveiling their plan to put the first ad on the moon. A Japanese beverage company has an out-of-this-world advertising idea. Atsuka Pharmaceutical Co. said it's going to shoot a can filled with its beloved beverage, Pocari Sweat, and embossed with its logo to the moon. And it's kind of like a Gatorade type drink here in America. It will be the first commercial product ever sent there as a marketing stunt, set to launch on October 2015. The can will be filled with a powdered version of the popular drink, along with the dreams and wishes of 38,000 children from Asia etched inside. Wonderful. The specially designed can is made from titanium, so it won't disintegrate from the journey's extreme climate shifts or the sun's radiation. It will travel to the moon on the Elon Musk-created Falcon 9 rocket on its first mission to the moon. Of course, America, NASA, we just because we put sanctions on Russia, they're no longer giving us a taxi cab ride to the moon or other places. Sam, last week I was talking about a space fence to protect my Netflix from spatulas hitting them in outer space. And take a look at this picture right here, Sam. What do you think? A Japanese drink company is putting the first billboard on the moon. They want to have their can right there with the Earth in the background on the moon.
It sounds like a Kim Jong-un idea. You've got the United States with, as recently as the last election, you had Newt Gingrich talking about the benefits of mining the moon. And while I was never in any jeopardy of voting for Newt, I thought the idea was, you have to think big to make it happen. I doubt we'll be pulling iron ore out of there within the next 4 or 5 years. But it's, you got to think about it. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's not a bad idea. You've got Russia actually taking steps to do so, and you've got Japan wanting to put a can of pop on the moon. This is the de-evolution of the West, D-Lake. Right in front of us, the stupidity just spreads. I know they're not the West, they're the East. You know what I mean. In mindset, they're the West. It is the death of a culture, dude. Stupidity.
Stupidity? Yeah, the funny thing is we could do it for a quarter of the price with CGI, but anyways. Sam, did you see this?
It's a stupid idea.
Sam, did you see this U.S. politics and policy news? Veterans scandal risks engulfing Obama?
No, the last two I have not seen, but I do think that. I think that the country doesn't even really completely understand what the veterans do unless they have a veteran in their family. So I don't think it's going to be the undoing. He's got this cult of personality like Hitler-like worship. I don't think this will be what does it.
Well, more damning, Sam, the department is investigating the claims of a whistleblower doctor in Arizona that dozens of patients at one hospital died. Well, they were...
Now that I've heard about, but I haven't heard that they thought it was going to derail the big O.
They were languishing on hitting waiting lists, though, without ever being given an appointment. So they had 2 sets of books to make it look as if they were reducing waiting times to see a doctor. So they had one book that was like a bunch of people dying, and another book that says, no, we're doing a great job. I mean, I think they have 2 sets of books on just about everything in this administration.
If there's If they're smart, they'll tie that into the Benghazi scandal and make it in people's head that voting for Hillary is voting for all this death. That would help.
Well, Sam, the author Jeff Dreyer in Washington says amid contrived outrage over Benghazi and the improving fortunes of its healthcare reform. Oh yeah, it's just getting better. Oh, 7 million, 8 million, 9 million have signed up. That's pitiful. The Obama administration could be facing a genuine scandal about its treatment of military veterans that has the potential to attract broad political condemnation of its competence. And I mean, I don't know. It probably could. But they're just going to say, oh, just the Republicans are going to go after it. But no. Military affairs and our military veterans is an across-the-board issue, Sam. Do you think that?
I think the most important thing you're going to find is in order to make this help, you're going to have to find through legal means some way of acquiring how many veterans are like dyed-in-the-wool Democrats that this is happening to, and you need to get them talking about how this administration had hosed them after they supported them. Finding a bunch of Mitt Romney voting pseudo-Republicans that had to wait for medical care is going to be spun by the left to somehow be the fault of the Republicans. So the best way to prevent them from doing that would be to point out that this is happening to all of the troops, including ones that supported them. I think that would be their best way to get this to
in the article,
what Obama's doing.
In the article, even with massive increased funding, still the waiting times and people dying and not being properly treated is just, it's way out of balance, it's way out of whack, and it's just not good, and it's scandalous. It's a scandal. They're just letting people die. They got 2 sets of books. I think the 2 sets of books parts is the most amazing part to me. Did you hear this week that feds released hundreds of immigrant murderers, drunk drivers, and sex crime convicts, Sam?
The DUI
About 36,000 of these immigrant criminals. So not only is their first crime coming to America without proper documentation, they're illegal immigrants, then 36,000, and it breaks up into groups of murderers, rapists, car thieves, burglars, drunk drivers.
I love how they put the drunk drivers in it. You get a drunk driving charge for not even being drunk. It's such a joke in our country. And yet they lump that in with all the other real crimes that happen.
Yeah. People don't like drunk drivers, Sam. But I agree with you that
most people that get a DUI are more of a danger than somebody is if they're perfectly sober. But the issue, the bigger picture here,
Sam, I used to live in Santa Fe, and it's like the drunk driving capital of the world. And there's a lot of Indians there and a lot of Mexicans and Mexican Indians there, and they have the highest drunk driving rate in the country. And I think there's a fine line between racism and statistics.
Well, I don't even think it should be lumped in because the DUI laws in our country make a DUI not mean anything. If I hear somebody got a DUI, unless they're at least the second tier, I just know it's an innocent guy that got hosed.
Okay, so out of 36,000, there was probably like 400 drunk drivers. What about the other guys? What about the murderers? What about the...
that's what I want to know. I want to know how many actually were left out. Because before anybody watches this who doesn't know the show, let me say before we go on, I am against illegal immigration. I think they need to be sent back.
Yeah, that's their first crime, right?
I think getting into the country needs to be much easier and a lot cheaper. Because now people are just buying their way into the country to do it legally. The immigrants are right, that needs to be changed and thrown. However, if you snuck into the country, you should have to face the same penalties. Look what happens if you sneak into Mexico. They will hose you. Your life is over. You're doomed. And yet we're
good luck with that.
Blind eye to it. I'm against all of that. But I would like to know how many of them actually murdered somebody, raped somebody, kidnapped somebody, or how many of them had a cerveza on the way home from work and got a DUI for absolutely nothing, and it's being used as a political football. I'd like to know which one it is.
Sure, Sam. Among the 36,000 immigrants who U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement released from custody last year, there were 116 with convictions for homicide, 43 for negligent manslaughter, which could be drunk driving. You never know, lumped in there. I mean, if it killed somebody. 14 for voluntary manslaughter, like I'm going to kill you, and 1 with a conviction classified by ICE as homicide, willful kill, public official, gun. Oh, we willfully killed a public official with a gun? Oh, let him go.
Yeah, that's insane. Now, who did this?
The immigrants were in deportation proceedings, meaning ICE, which is the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, was trying to remove them from the country and could have held them in detention, but released them anyway, according to the Center for Immigration Studies, which published the numbers Monday. The Washington Times also obtained the data. I mean, okay, we can't keep them in our prisons because, I mean, we just have too many people in there? Oh, yeah, okay. But we're not going to send them back to where they came from. We're just going to let them go here and just...
We can't even send them back. We can't even send them back if they've killed someone. And yet, how many involuntary manslaughter cases do we have of American citizens where they just rot?
Oh, yeah, and I mean, a murderer is going to get far less time than someone conspiracy to traffic marijuana.
Well, I mean, I get tired of hearing the whole, oh, you're racist thing if you're against illegal immigration. You never hear anybody talk about Mexico being anti-American because they don't want us sneaking into their country, but they certainly have laws about it that are a lot more draconian than ours.
Sam, you're aware that Dartmouth College outlawed fiesta parties? You can't have a fiesta party because it's racist if they don't have enough Mexicans that go to their school? Maybe the problem is you don't have enough Mexicans that go to your school. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, and my grandmother was a quarter Mexican, so I get it. I get it. I'm definitely not anti-Mexican. But this belief we have that everything, we have to be so politically correct because you can't make...
Sam, I think you're... No, Sam, just hold it right there, pal. I think you're racist if you don't like Mexican food.
It's ridiculous. Isn't it hilarious?
Do you like tacos?
I like all tacos. Yes, believe it or not, as long as there's enough sour.
Dartmouth College is going to ban the word fiesta. Well, they're going to have to strike out a bunch of stuff on the menu at Taco Bell, then, don't they? I mean, I want a fiesta burrito right now.
The whole notion is ridiculous. I forget his. I think it was Sargent. I'm not sure what his name was. He was a Cleveland Indian, and he had a real. His name escapes me because I'm on the air and I don't need it to. But he was a baseball player, and whenever he would get up to bat, they had these spaghetti and meatballs that used to dance on the screen. And nobody ever said that was racist against Italian people. But if you would have had a Mexican sombrero
who was president then?
When Manny Ramirez went to bat, you'd have had La Raza out there having a freaking aneurysm on the streets, cutting their wrists and setting themselves on fire. It's ridiculous. And I'm also part Italian. And you know what? I thought the dancing meatballs were absolutely hilarious. Grow the hell up and quit whining.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? P.S. I love Mexican food, and I used to live in Tecate on the border. Okay? And going back and forth to that border was awesome and amazing until 9/11, which made the wait times insane, and now we got to put mirrors under your car and all kinds of other stuff. I lived so close, I used to just walk back and forth, but even that took longer.
I wonder what in this country, you have tacos, this, that, the other. I wonder if let's say you're a famous baseball player in Mexico, and when you go up to bat as an American, it always makes you wonder what they would use as the, I know you could think of something awful like Hillary Clinton with a gun, but I mean realistically, what do you think they'd really use? I'm just like, well, what it would do, like a dancing cheeseburger, maybe? I don't know. Fries and a little Coke doing a dance.
Oh, yeah.
You're not allowed to talk about cheeseburgers anymore because it offends the famous American baseball player in the locker room. Does that happen in other countries, or are we the only one that's...
Well, in other countries, Sam, we Americans are just fat, lazy, obese, slovenly, cheeseburger-eating suckers.
Well, that I mean, but like my grandfather was part Irish. On my mom's side, the other side, and I mean, I know that obviously you've got the Irishman, the drinking or whatever. I wonder. I guess it would be cheeseburgers and fries for us.
Yeah, right. Well, that's racist, Sam.
I hate Americans. I'm racist.
When Obama goes to Ireland, he's like there with his pint glass and his big Guinness, and he's just like, hell yeah, that's how I roll.
Oh, I love
Barack
the administration.
Oh, hey Sam. Hey Sam. This week when you were reporting, and you did it again earlier this morning when you were in the science front, when you were talking about La Jolla, which is pronounced La Jolla, which is Spanish for the jewel. So obviously you're racist for mispronouncing that, Sam. You were talking about Barack Obama and trust me, like Ka the snake, trust me.
Yes.
Eyes pinwheeling. Well, let me put it to you this way, Sam. La Jolla, as you call it, La Jolla.
Well, no, what's funny is I do know
about La Jolla. Was talking about
the amount of times I've actually seen it typed, but yes.
Where Barack Obama was talking about income inequality, well, Sam, La Jolla here in San Diego is like the most affluent. It's like the Hollywood Rodeo Drive area of San Diego. It's just like the $1 million homes. Mitt Romney has a home there. Dr. Seuss had a home there. A bunch of actors have homes there. It's right on the beach. It's magnificent. And the Scripps Institute is there. Mount Soledad, they're trying to take down the cross, is there. They want to take down that cross because they think it's Christian. When the whole thing is surrounded by plaques of all different religious ethnicities, it's a memorial site with a cross at the center, but they want to take the cross down. And now this week, some atheist group wants telephone poles everywhere taken down because they look too much like crosses, Sam.
The de-Christianization of the country is the one thing that every nation does. Right before.
Well, let's talk about the de-Christianization and the homosexualization for a minute, Sam. Let's do that.
Right before totalitarianism goes from a walk to a run, you see them try to destroy whatever the host religion was of the country. The only exception to that is Islam. They simply destroy the religion in order to make it more dogmatic. With the exception of them, usually religion is destroyed right before things get much worse, and that is definitely in the process here. I did know La Jolla was having the trouble with the crosses. I also knew about Dr. Seuss living there, but the other stuff I hadn't known about. But I'm not surprised.
I've seen
out here in Ohio. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I don't know as much about Ohio, so I can't be like, oh, Sam, you just don't know anything.
It's the same thing. Like, people have this image of Ohio as this, it's not having the same kinds of issues. But we do, right? I'm like one of 5 Christians that I know that I hang around. It's the country is being steered away from religion and being steered more towards what fascism is. The side of fascism that nobody studies. That's exactly the direction that this is going in, and I think this is another highlight of that.
Hey, we've hit the halfway point. Hey, Sam, you want to do me a favor so I can take a quick step away? Why don't you do a commercial for the mediaspeaks.com and also add to that any shout-outs you want to give and pump up the correct views and all that. Can you do that?
Will do.
Yeah.
As D-Lake steps away, make sure, friends, you do go to the mediaspeaks.com. You'll find articles and mostly video logs by Kyle Court, D-Lake, myself, all of us posting rather frequently. And the more you tune into us, the more you share the videos, the more you let other people know that we're out here, the better it is for us to get more news out to you more often. The goal, I think, of the entire channel is to make this, to some degree, what we do all the time. And that is done in incremental steps, friends, including you hitting share on this video and showing other people about it. I also want to give a quick shout out, since D-Light gave me a chance to do this, for Miss Milky the Clown. I want to thank the Arcadia Grill and Mike McLaughlin for helping the correct views along. And even though they're not a sponsor of the Media Speaks yet, A lot of that is a matter of location. So check out all of those places. Those are places that help the correct views. If you're new to our site, make sure you also look at the individual shows of each person. D-Lake, The War, I got the correct views. Not as much science on my show as there used to be, but it is still there. When something new happens, many times the Media Speaks is streaming it, even if it's just on their phone. I made a movie about Bilderberg. The latest in La Jolla news, bam, you got it from D-Lake. It comes up, there he is, ready to give it to you. Oh, it's right by me, I know right where it's at. The more that you listen to the channel, the more you find out that we cover things that may be local to where you are. There's people in the West right now amazed that I didn't know all this was going on in La Jolla. There's probably people that are absolutely amazed to find out how horrible the economy is in Ohio. I was in Belton Village the other day, which is a big shopping area in Ohio, and I noticed that there is nothing at all that is owned on the best real estate that is not now corporate owned. By that I mean a Red Lobster, a Taco Bell. Oh, I said taco, I'm racist. A Taco Bell. There's nothing, there's no D-Lake's French fries. There's no Sam I.B.'s music shop. There's none of that. And, you know, you find that out. You listen to the Media Speaks. This news isn't just national and international, but a lot of it applies to where you are. And we're peppered all over the country, so tune in.
Hey, that's great, Sam. And wonderful job there with that commercial. I wanted to give a quick shout out to a friend of mine who is doing some activism in Balboa Park today, also here in San Diego. It is my friend Singing Monarch is doing a street theater action in Balboa Park against drones today at noon in Balboa Park, everyone. They have some mass media showing up, and my friend wanted to know if I could help cover the event. I said, well, I have a live show today, so I don't think I can make it. I was trying to line up a super special guest for today's show who had a family commitment and couldn't be on, but hopefully D-Lake will have him on soon, whether on the TMS live show or Welcome to the War, something like that, maybe the correct views, you just never know. Did you give a shout out to the Arcadia Grill and Mike McLaughlin, Sam?
Yes, I did.
Oh, there you go.
All and right, if you would like to advertise on the Media Speaks, we would like to give shout outs to you. Where would they contact us, D-Lake?
Sure, just hit us up at themediaspeaks.com. I'm sure you already gave out the emails. And everybody go to stickerjunkie.com where you can make stickers and say whatever you want. That's right. 100 stickers start for only $25. The promo code right now, I believe, is ice cream because it's so damn hot here. And in San Diego, we've been plagued with national headline fires.
Oh, shut up, D-Lake. You're so lucky. We're freezing out here. I haven't been to Cedar Point yet.
Well, you don't want your home destroyed by a fire either, Sam. A bunch of houses and properties have been fucked up by the fire. And it's over 100 degrees.
You know what's really bad about that, and no joke can be made regarding it, is that historically, that's what California has been. California had this fluke cool down in the last 120 years that have somehow managed to...
And it wouldn't have anything to do with the chemtrails I see all the time, but go ahead, Sam, sorry.
Okay, that can't be helping. But this is historically what California has been. And unfortunately, it looks like things are going to get real bad out there. I mean, all jokes aside about the weather, like you said, a lot of people are genuinely affected by this. And it's bad because this is the California of history. This is not the nice weather that people have known during our lifetime and our grandparents' lifetime. But if you go to our great-grandparents and before, it was hell on earth. And I think that's starting to happen again.
Sam, you sent me a link earlier. Do you want to talk about this? Do you want to talk about this link that you sent me with the mammals?
Did I send it to you?
Marine mammals mysteriously dying in record numbers along West Coast. I don't know if it was you or Christelle, but according to Natural News, more sick and dying animals are washing up on the coast of California, with new reports indicating record numbers of young sea lions, seals, and other marine mammals being emitted to care shelters for rehabilitation. The Orange County Register reports that the only facility in the county licensed to care for marine mammals is now at capacity, no vacancy, and that other facilities all along the coastline are being similarly inundated.
I would like to see a doctor, perhaps even Caldecott. I would like to see whether or not they can get these animals checked for their radiological level. Because Mikhail Thalen has reported on this. Good Lord knows I've reported on this.
Oh, it looks like Court sent the link, Sam, but go ahead.
They continue. I hadn't seen the article, but I've followed all of these a lot. And they, whether or not Fukushima is suspected, is utter bull. I'm going to be nice. It's utter mind rot because we know we were able to tell Karen Silkwood what level of radioactivity, without they call them hot particles, which level of these higher radioactive elements can be found in her bloodstream back in the 80s. If we give these animals to proper scientists, let Arnie Gunderson or Helen Caldecott pick the doctor. I know Helen's a doctor, but she doesn't do autopsies. She's a pediatrician. Let them pick who does these autopsies. Let them pick what kind of testing is done, and they'll find out where this is from. They can find out, D-Lake, because radioactive elements decay at different levels. And if you have, let's say, radioactive element A, B, and C in you, well, A would have been already decayed. I believe it's tritium that... We don't still have tritium from Chernobyl. We have all the other wonderful poisons, but tritium, I believe, has died away. So when you find something that has tritium in it, that means it's a relatively recent nuclear reaction that has happened. I believe it's 20 years or so. So you know right away that you can tell there's only one area emitting particles that have a life of only 20 years or less. If you find that, and I'm explaining it in very layman's terms here, but if you find that footprint, then you can tell that it's Fukushima. And people that do autopsies, they're not using layman's terms, D-Lake. They know what they're doing, and they can tell you exactly what is in the animal. So this we don't know what's in it thing is because we don't want to know what's in it. That's what they're saying.
Right. All right, Sam, this show today is called Science, Politics, Headlines, and More. We've gotten some great science news today, incorporated that with science ethics, actually, thanks to Sam being on the show again today. Covered some politics, a little bit of headlines. Here's another headline I found fascinating this week, Sam. #fail. Speaking of hashtags, have you seen Michelle Obama's Bring Our Girls Back, and all the women in like the Congress are like, yeah, bring our girls back. And it's like, these are our girls, these Nigerian kidnapped Boko Haram that Hillary should have said were terrorists, and the U.S. government should have said were terrorists a long time ago. No, she's supporting them. It's part of her agenda.
It's the second time she was warned. People say, oh, well, Benghazi, she missed one. Give her a break. Okay, she just did it again.
Sounds like contrived outrage to me, Sam. But #fail, the NYPD's brutal lesson on how not to use Twitter. And this Storm Clouds gathering has uploaded screenshots of the best responses so that this fail can live on for eternity on the internet. New York's police department has had public relations problems for a long time. Basically, they said, hey, look at this friendly picture of this guy with the NYPD. Put out posts like this with the hashtag #MyNYPD. Do you have a photo with a member of the NYPD? Tweet us and tag it. Well, guess what happens,
Oh, okay. Yes. Never mind. No, InfoWars had a link to this. I didn't recognize it. This is great. I love this.
Here's what happens. Oh, sweet. I wonder what people responded with. If you can't walk, don't worry. The NYPD will carry you. How helpful. Oh, here, check this out. You might not have known this, but the NYPD can help you with that kink in your neck. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Oh, why, yes, I do have a picture with the NYPD. Right here, being arrested. This guy, this octogenarian that got beat up, he was a jaywalker. He feels safer with the NYPD. Get that camera out of my face! Oh, here's a good one. Guy getting punched in the head. Oh, this guy being assaulted in the park. and ravaged with batons and mace and other stuff. I saw another report of a female. The cop sprayed the shotgun mace directly in her face and like ruptured her eyeballs and eye sockets and blinded her for life. Oh wait, let's continue. Oh, and we're going to have to run you over just for good measure. A guy on a motorcycle running a person over there. Oh, this guy that chokes out dogs. I actually used this picture on my special report. Cops armed with dog food, Sam. Instead of beating up, tasering, killing, and otherwise fucking up people's dogs, Sam, do you think that they could approach a scene just maybe with a little bit of dog food and just see if we can't, or let the Humane Society do that while the cops raid the property, but do you think there's a better way to calm Fido down besides killing him?
I don't know why they don't have lower grade tasers, so that if something like that happens, they can taser the dog. Not if you use a human taser, I think it might kill the dog. But if it was tuned down or manufactured with a lower intensity, I think that would be a better way to do it. You could just zap the dog and not have to shoot it like they've been doing. And the number of, isn't it like 48 dogs a day get shot by police or some outrageously high number like that? Just
48 dogs a week?
Something outrageous. I didn't know it was nearly that high. Just zap the dog.
A day, or what'd you say?
If it's running at you, you got to do so. Yeah, I think if you look it up, I think it's some unbelievably high number. I heard about it a number of weeks ago, so I don't remember the exact number. It might even be higher.
Well, I mean, even in my article, Sam, I'm like, let's look up cop kills dog, and it's like, oh, 237,000 results, and I'm like,
yeah, it's a mess, and I think it's getting to the point now where when you do see police doing something helpful, you're almost shocked by it. I was coming home last night, and there was a cop. Well, at least I was gonna go back around and get a picture of it, but I didn't have a data card in my phone. And it looked like the cop was jumping a car, like helping somebody stranded. And I thought, isn't it sad that you never see that? Like, I almost wrecked the car trying to crane my neck to see it. It was so unbelievably unheard of that a cop would actually do that. I drove cab and had it happen, and, they didn't know help at all. They might bitch at you that it died in a place that's inconvenient for them. And at no point did they ever offer to help. It was very nice. I mean, I was shocked to see it, because normally what you see is some mess like this.
Well,
it's sad. You're shocked to see good being done by a cop. It's like earth-shattering.
Well, just this week, Sam, I didn't have my camera phone ready because it all happened so fast. But I should go out and look for it, because in the neighborhood where I work, or the community where I work, the sheriff's there. I see it driving down the street. A big, gigantic, like all black, like militarized vehicle with just spray paint on the front that says like county sheriff. It doesn't say SWAT, anything like that. It looks like a big gigantic like A-team customized just Darth Vader mobile. Like, and it's just like, what's that for?
Yeah, the
Do
way
you see that out in Ohio? Do you see the
yes.
militarization of police forces in your area, Sam?
More and more, my brother had posted a picture that he had seen in the repository, which is Canton's paper, and more communities are getting around posse comitatus by simply buying the equipment themselves. So rather than having a standing army, which is against the Constitution, they're turning the police into a standing army, which defeats the spirit of the law, if not the law itself.
Right, and I don't think it should be called the militarization of the police. I think it should be called the Darth Vaderization of the police.
I'm with you. The
empirical.
They swat the Dundee of the day I had on not that long ago, where they swatted a family for college financial aid fraud. How do you SWAT a house for financial aid fraud? Even if it's something of in prison, if it was maybe a rather substantial amount of student loans. Mm-hmm. Still, you don't send a SWAT team into a house for something like that. It's out of control. It's way, way, way beyond out of control. It was out of control a long time ago.
Yeah, no, Sam, I totally agree. And I saw that report you did. Good job.
Thank you.
Hey Sam, we got about 10 minutes left. Let's talk a little bit of news. Let's talk a little bit of entertainment news. Did you
I
see?
know. Yes.
Did you see this week
Oh,
that
you're getting a delay. Wait. No, stop.
I'm getting a delay?
Okay. I can tell you're back because you froze, and I'm like, all right, as soon as I see him move, I'll know I can hear him again. All right, go ahead.
Sam, let me go to this real quick on my screen share. This week, it came out that a new picture, and I had it like before Drudge Report had it posted. That's how I roll. Look at this. Ben Affleck is Batman in the Batmobile.
You and I were the only two that believed. You and I were it, D-Lake.
What do you mean?
That Ben Affleck could handle this. I could take or leave him in spurts. I like him better than George Clooney. I thought he was the worst Batman in all of recorded history.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck. I didn't like the last Batman that much. I did like that he
Dark
grumbled.
Knight Rises.
Now,
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
now that I liked, only because it was obvious then that he wasn't Bruce Wayne. I liked that he talked that way on purpose to hide his identity.
Yeah, you got to be a little gruffer when you're Batman. Yeah.
But I mean, they never brought it out very well. But originally he did that so that he didn't sound like Bruce Wayne. But they ended up editing that out of the movie, explaining why he did it. But I didn't think he made a very interesting Batman. And I thought he was. I liked my favorite Batman was probably Keaton. So I'm interested to see how Ben Affleck does it because I'm sort of hoping for.
I think he's going to be older, grittier, more savvy, and more scientific, and more just like. He's going to be letting Superman know what's really going on.
I'm hoping so. I really am hoping so. Yes.
He'll be the voice of reason, Batman.
While you do, we showing that car there. My least favorite Batman was probably 3 and 4, but the car in Batman 3, only the car of the movie, I really liked because it was designed by H.R. Giger. And now that you're doing entertainment news, H.R. Giger died this week, falling down the steps of his museum. So I mean, a lot of the people that worked on the older Batman films are either retiring or dying, so it's nice to see new blood going into the franchise, especially again with the success of the last one. I didn't hate the last Batman. I thought that what's his name did as good with the Joker as Nicholson did. They were
Heath Ledger was awesome.
And Nicholson did as good as Sid Caesar. So they've always done very good with their villains. Again, awful movie, but Danny DeVito.
How do you feel about the new? How do you feel
Danny
about the
DeVito
new?
was a phenomenal Penguin. They've always done good with villains.
Yeah, Danny DeVito's good too. Have you seen the previews for the new Fox show Gotham?
And only on YouTube.
It's like a telling of what happened in Gotham in its early stages, right after Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered.
You got the wrong story up, Neely.
And it follows Detective Gordon, who becomes Commissioner Gordon in this. But there was something that you said there, Sam, about the new bloods coming in. Did you see this, Sam? 17-year-old high school student wins West Virginia GOP primary on pro-life, pro-gun rights campaign. Did you see this, Sam?
Not at all, no.
A week before her high school graduation, Sarah Blair was barely old enough to vote when she unseated a West Virginia lawmaker almost 4 times her age. After Tuesday's GOP primary, the 17-year-old is one election away from becoming the youngest state lawmaker in West Virginia history. Larry Swan, sworn in as a 20-year-old delegate in 1972, so that's like over 40 years ago, set the current record. Blair's birthday is in July, so she would just meet the 18-year-old minimum age for West Virginia House of Delegates members. 17-year-old who will turn 18 by November election can vote in West Virginia's primary. Oh, so all the people around her age can vote. Incredibly thankful for all the support. I'm honored to be named the 59th House Republican candidate. Okay, she's still got to win the main event. She got the primary. Soft-spoken in all message, Blair is a churchgoer who says she is pro-life, pro-family, pro-gun rights, and pro-business. She can rattle off a laundry list of business taxes she wants abolished or lowered. Sam, how do you feel about this young woman?
Absolutely delighted by it. I think they're probably going to go ahead and go right after the abortion thing because that's the one thing that can divide the libertarian base that she is building. Fortunately, I don't think it's going to work. I'm delighted about it. Absolutely delighted. No, I had not heard anything about her at all, but a 17-year-old libertarian leaning Republican is very good to hear, especially if she's going to be running for office and might win. We need to make sure her name is on the final naming of this installment of the Saturday edition.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we got to put that in the tags and on the title. Yeah.
I think you guys favored it last week and never got to it while you were in entertainment news. I always do like new music that no one's ever heard of. The new Judas Priest CD is out, and I don't think you guys got to talk about it last week.
Is it good?
It's compared to other Judas Priest, I give it a 6.5, 6.9 maybe. Not my favorite Priest song ever, only based on their material. Compared to any other metal song I've heard come out in terms of a single now, not a deep cut, I give it an 8. It's strong. Richie, the new guitarist that took over for KK, is doing really good. He did the Epitaph tour, in my opinion, flawlessly. He plays KK's solos, but he has a little bit of his own knack. He doesn't play them like note for note the way KK did. Especially on the newer stuff like off Angel of Retribution. Some of the classic KK from like Victim of Changes and that, he tends to leave that the way KK wrote them. Yeah, I'm excited because I think the rest of the CD is going to be much heavier. If you look at the Last Kiss single, Hell or Hallelujah, it, in my opinion, was one of the weakest songs they could have possibly released as a single. But they did, and my boss loves it, so I play it. But the record labels often find these more mainstream songs and release them. And it's not that the bands sell out. They've always had lighter moments. But the record label, I think, is terrified to release Painkiller as a single. Even though the last time they did it, which was Painkiller, it was huge. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested. I'm hoping for a real heavy, raw Priest album. And I have a feeling that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be very, very heavy.
And are you interested in the new posthumous Michael Jackson album, Escape? That they took all his previously, like, basically almost done recordings. They only took the a cappella. They put it to all new beats and music. And, like, Timberland and the producers were saying, like, they felt like Michael was, like, talking to him during the production. And they're really putting this together pretty tight, according to what I've heard. And it's going to come out near the end of this month. It's Michael Jackson Escape. Also, in entertainment news this week, Godzilla just came out yesterday or the day before on the 16th.
I was excited until you said Timberlake. Timberlake has never released one song that I thought had any musical talent to it whatsoever. So
well,
no,
not Justin Timberlake, Timberland, the producer.
I don't like him either. Anything sucks. I'm even less excited about it. No, absolutely.
At least you said Timber anything sucks and not Lake anything sucks, because then I would have been upset. You like
I also try not to listen to Lil anyone.
Anyone with Lil? You don't listen to that?
I have a feeling it's going to be the worst Michael Jackson album in all of music history. Now that you told me that, I would have been excited about it prior to hearing about that. Good Lord.
We shall see. But also in entertainment, Godzilla this weekend. Next weekend, X-Men: Days of Future Past. Really excited. Those are all my top 2 must-see movies this summer. Gonna try to get to those. I
want to see Godzilla. I haven't even seen the first X-Men yet, but I do want to see Godzilla.
I'm kind of a trailer. I love watching all the trailers and all the sneak peeks.
Why would you do that? Now you know the whole movie ahead of time, though. I try not
the whole movie, just enough to tickle my ass with a feather.
But they don't do that anymore. They give you the whole movie. I haven't watched the trailer.
They went overboard on Spider-Man, and then my buddy's like, "Let's go see Spider-Man." I'm like, I feel like I've already seen it, and the reviews aren't that good.
Yeah. They did that with Prometheus, and I liked Prometheus, but I thought they could have done a lot more with the story.
I thought Prometheus could have been better. I just watched Elysium. I bought it, actually, last week, and I thought it was actually pretty good. Elysium with Matt Damon, I thought it was pretty good.
I haven't seen it yet.
Check it out, dude. All right, Sam, it's been a great show. How do you feel about doing the wrap-up? How about you do the wrap-up? Go for it.
do the wrap-up. Friends, you've been listening to the Media Speak Saturday edition. Sam I.B. DeGangi and D. Lake reporting for the Media Speaks. Normally Kyle is here, but my other job, I should say, pulled me away the last 6 weeks, and now his moving has pulled him away. Go to the site if you missed him. Maybe you're looking at this and you're like, oh my God, you got beard and no beard. Where's Kyle? I hate these two. Go to the MediaSpeaks.com.
No, wait a second. I think it was a better show. I think it was a better show, just you and I.
Yeah, I hope other people do too. But maybe you hated it. And if you did hate it, go to themediaspeaks.com. You can listen to everything Kyle did. He's got so much material that if you started with his very first, you would not be done by the time he was here next week. So go to themediaspeaks.com, look it up. Check out that new Priest song and support Blair in West Virginia. She sounds like an amazing, amazing kid.
Yeah. 17, about to be 18, and an amazing young
see, I've got no problem with it because I was into politics when I was like 13 or 14. I was doing book reports on the evils of the PMRC and Tipper Gore, and then lo and behold, Al Gore became worse, and I followed that. I could have handled that. I could have handled that when I was 18.
Tipper Gore. Everyone, check out Freedom of Speech. Just watch what you say by Ice-T. Talks all about that. PMRC, Tipper Gore, Al Gore.
So I mean, I don't
change.
I'm not a big you look how young she is. I'd have been fine at 18 with it. I'm sure she will too. I completely support her.
Yeah. Hey, just so much going on in news, entertainment, politics, science. Today's science, politics, and headline show thought was really great. Sam just did an amazing wrap up. Here's my post wrap up. Thanks everyone for joining, watching the show. Check us out and rebroadcast. It'll be up on the website, themediaspeaks.com. You can always listen to it on your phone or audio on Podkicker, iTunes, and all our other amazing audio outlets, on YouTube, on Facebook. Just everywhere you go, you're going to see Media Speaks. And all you got to do is type it into your search engine. Okay? So everybody have a great day, and thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.